This video is about how to do a distant healing, or how to do a healing on a baby, an animal, yourself, and of course for other people when they aren't present, when they're not on your table. First and foremost, you need to have permission to do the healing on somebody. So if it's your own child and they're under 16, you pretty much have responsibility for them, so you can do a healing on them without verbally asking them. However, if they're mature enough to have a mind of their own and they don't want one, well, you're going to have to respect that. However, the younger they are, then the more open they are to a healing. The other thing is, when you open the case, when it says permissions are granted, if you don't get an energy shift on that, that would indicate that they don't unconsciously want a healing, or you can't proceed if you don't get permissions are granted, or if you can't get through opening the case. So hopefully you've gone through the videos on the self-testing techniques. Now, the self-testing techniques can be the energy shift where you're standing and then you feel the shift, or you just feel tingles, or you do the finger pad rotation or the chain. So practice those self-testing techniques, because they're the ones that you will use when you're reading from afar. So let's say you do have somebody on the table. You can also use a surrogate, which means somebody will lie on the table and they will surrogate for an animal, a baby, or a person. And you say to the person on the table, is it okay if you now surrogate for my dog, Lola? And they say yes. So you follow the protocol and it will be relevant to everything that comes up will be for the dog. And you heal the person, which will then be a healing for the dog, or it will be a healing for the baby. Even a mother can hop on the table and you can do the healing for the baby. So that is how you can do it when you have somebody on the table that says, yes, I will be a surrogate. When they finish the healing, you need to say you are now released from surrogating, and you should get an energy shift to confirm they are no longer taking on the stuff of that person or the dog or the cat or whomever. So that's how you can do it when you have a person. Now, when they're not present, and let's say you on the phone, you're talking on the phone and you are doing the healing, the protocol, you open the case and you need to do one of those and learn one of the self-testing energy shifts. I stand and I feel the move. For me, that says I've got through. When it says Divine Matrix, and I wait for my shift and I get through. Otherwise, you can use your finger pads or whatever self-testing technique. Then when I get to the numbers, I will say, for the negative life patterns, let's say I come up with number 14, which is sacrifice. I will then be on the phone and say, your negative life pattern is sacrifice. Now, another way, when you have someone on the phone or on Skype or wherever, and you're speaking with them, a really easy version is to say to them, pick a number between 1 and 18. They might pick 14, which we know is sacrifice. Then you read that out. Then they pick a number for the belief systems, or an ID age. The first ID age will be childhood. So I always say between 1 and 20. And then they pick a number between 1 and 20. Let's say they pick 12. And you say, what happened at age 12? So these are ways, an easy way for the person that you're healing, if you're not that comfortable with reading the energy shifts in yourself. However, if you're struggling to read energy shifts, it means that you need to be more connected. The more you connect, the more you heal yourself, the more you can read others, the more you can feel things. So if you're on the phone and then it comes up to do a meridian alignment, where you run meridians, you can either explain to them, if it's say the adrenal meridian, you can say, run your fingers down the middle of your arm, and then you run yours. And at the same time, you are then correcting the meridian alignment. or if it's an affirmation, you just get them to repeat the affirmation. So you've got the choice of actually doing, if you're on the phone, doing the correction on yourself, which is what I do, and then I'm doing it for them. And I can also tell them to do certain things, but most of the time I will just do it on myself, and that will be for them. I will be part of the surrogate for them. So hopefully this has answered your questions on the distance healings, and I would practice daily testing yourself. So if you want to heal yourself, you will test the numbers for yourself. If something occurs, something you don't like, test a negative life pattern, an IDH, or go through the protocol, and then see how come you create it. Look at your negative life patterns that keep coming up, and if it's victim, you've got to go for empowered. You've got to make empowered decisions, or saying, you know what, I'm not going to play victim anymore. I'm going to be empowered, and I'm going to change the way I respond. So my nose is now running because that's what it does when I do healing. So this is a little bit of a healing for somebody. All right, so I hope this has helped, and I look forward to seeing you at workshops or down the track at some time when we touch base for healing or whatever it is. Sending you blessings and love.